Fresh Purdue chicken thighs or drumsticks only $1.99 per pound. Save $1.40 on Bermuda-grown cauliflower, $2.59 per pound. Save $1.36 on Schmidt old-time sliced butter bread, $4.59 for a 24-ounce loaf. General Mills Honey Nut Cheerios 10.8-ounce box, only $4.59. New Fresh Pet pet food, 20% off on all sizes and varieties. All stores open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Friday, February the 8th, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. Topping our news, a collective sigh of relief from landlords and tenants alike as Curtis Dickinson, the Minister of Finance, has a change of heart on the much maligned proposed tax on rents. Minister Dickinson originally made the announcement on the Sherry J Show, but spoke with our Gary Moreno a short time after. And while the announcement is good news for residential property owners, it remains unclear what it means for commercial landlords.
Earlier today, the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of Finance issued a joint statement with respect to the rental tax. And we had learned through the Consumer Affairs Department that certain landlords were advising their tenants that effective March 1st, their rents were going to go up as a result of a new tax. We issued a statement this morning advising folks that no decision had been made yet on the tax. And I decided, after having issued it, that that probably didn't go far enough. And I decided to reveal that I had taken the rent tax off the table for consideration for the 2019-2020 budget. My plan initially was to announce this in the House of Assembly on the 22nd of February when I delivered the budget. But I was moved by the instances of people potentially trying to take advantage of folks around purely speculation.
Having the reports been made of this officially, and if so, what action will be taken against these? I could only describe them as unscrupulous landlords.
Well, reports have been registered with the Consumer Affairs Department, and that team has reached out to those landlords who have been reported by tenants.
And what, if any, action is going to be taken against those landlords?
I'm not aware of what action other than kind of a call to let people know that no decision had been made on the tax at the time that the calls were made. I've now clarified that even further by making it very clear that the residential rent-up tax has been taken off the table.
If I'm not mistaken, that measure was expected to raise $41 million. If it were implemented, how does government propose to arrive at that figure now?
In actual fact, Gary, I think it was $26.3 million. I had always said from the outset that this budget for 2019-2020 would need to take a very balanced approach to, of course, taking a view at raising revenue, maintaining or monitoring expenses with tight controls, and also having a look at what the potential impact of any tax increase would have on the economy. I accept that generally, if it was too much, it could have pretty much a dampening effect, and so I've decided to scale back the size of the tax increase. And we've looked at expenses pretty closely, and I found a way to achieve the objectives that I have set for getting the government's fiscal house in order, while also being mindful of the concerns of taxpayers.
This will also apply to commercial properties and such?
I haven't announced that yet, Gary. I've focused exclusively on residential rental tax, and I'm not prepared today to discuss anything else other than the residential rental tax.
Not even how government proposes to arrive at the figure, as you mentioned?
I've mentioned that I'm looking for a smaller package of potential tax revenue going forward in terms of an increase.
And what is that figure?
I'm not prepared to disclose that until Friday, the 22nd of February.
The finance minister's announcement that he has taken the proposed rental income tax for residences off the table was not enough for one landlady who called us. Homeowner Paulette Robinson feels the tax, if ever imposed, would only serve to hurt the already struggling working class, both renters and landlords. As she told Shirai Trott, she fears the government will bring back the tax at some point in the future.
They need to take it off permanently. They're just doing that now because people are making a fuss about it. But they will bring it up again in the next year or two.
You're sure of that?
Yes. And what we have to do is nip it in the bud, because what is affecting us is the hard-working people, the black people of Bermuda, as they call it, right? And it costs too much money. It costs too much money to the upkeep of the house, the mortgage, we have to have money coming in to help to educate the children and food on our table when we get laid off from our job and mortgage, anything like that there. That little extra income help us to survive for a little bit.
Had the tax been imposed, you would have surely raised your rent. Is that correct?
If the tax is imposed, we cannot pass it on to the renter, right? Unless we do it indirect. But I think it's unfair. The only thing that when I learned about, they will start off with 5%. That 5% will lead anywhere to 70% over a period of years. And that's going to affect your children, your grandchildren, or anybody.
Ms. Robinson believes government must do better at advertising public consultations in the future, as she says the recent town hall meeting on the proposed tax was not well known.
A lot of people didn't know nothing about that meeting last week, Wednesday. A whole lot of people. They say that, oh, they've been told, advertised. I didn't read nothing. I know I read about the rentals, but I didn't know nothing about no meeting. I just happened to find out the night before. And, you know, when I talk to people all around, a lot of people don't even know nothing about it. Not even the young people. They said, what's that?
So you felt it was poorly advertised?
It was poorly advertised. And what gets me is the union, the BIU and the BBSU, they haven't even notified their workers on the meeting. And yet they know about it. They didn't even notify them, like, hey, we need an urgent meeting in here. What you've been working so hard for, hey, it's going to be taxed.
More news after the break, including your weekend weather forecast. We'll be right back.
You can count on us.
For your guacamole dip, avocados just $1.99 each. Save $4 on certified Angus beef top sirloin steaks, $8.99 per pound. Hot deal on DiGiorno 12-inch pizzas, only $7.99. Save $1.40 on Lay's potato chips, $2.99 for a 6.5-ounce bag. $3.79 for a 64-ounce carton of ShopRite Premium Orange Juice. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more super specials.
You can count on us.
At Argus, our interest is you. Each of you. Around here, we know that when two people seem the same, they can have very different insurance needs. For their health, home, work, and future. Which is why we take the time to get to know you as an individual, so we can provide insurance coverage that fits your life. Because after all, our interest is you.
Surface Trends is proud to offer Bermuda's best selection of natural and exotic stone, carefully selected and imported from Italy and Brazil. We also stock the newest collection from Caesar Stone and Silestone. Don't forget our wide variety of gorgeous porcelain wood plank tiles, including our exclusive Bermuda cedar tile, as well as natural travertines suitable for outdoors and indoors. Bathroom and pool tiles are in stock too. Stop by our showroom at 17 Serpentine Road, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1.
Welcome back. The Island Senior Magistrate has called for a new special DUI court to be introduced, counseling for families of murder victims following trial and amends to an archaic Mental Health Act. More in this report.
The island's legal fraternity all under one roof this afternoon at the Supreme Court for a special sitting to acknowledge the start of the new legal year. It was the first sitting for Narinda Hargan as the new Chief Justice following the retirement of Dr. Ian Kawali. Dignitaries and special guests were also in attendance inside the packed courthouse. The sitting is used to highlight the achievements and shortfalls of the justice system in the past year. Senior Magistrate Juan Wolf, in his remarks, announced a new pilot program to deal specifically with drink driving offenders and calls for more support within the courts.
I respectfully urge the honorable members in the chambers above to swiftly enact legislation and, where possible, provide adequate funding in the justice system, such as special measures legislation that would mandatorily allow vulnerable witnesses, such as child victims of sexual abuse, to give evidence in such a way that they're not hampered by intimidation and which does not compound the trauma which they've already suffered.
It was suggested the Mental Health Act is outdated.
Amend the archaic 1998 Mental Health Act so that those who have a mental health order or disorder can receive immediate and comprehensive psychiatric intervention, rather than they or their loved ones having to wait until their episodes escalate. and the person finds themselves within the courtroom.
Magistrate Wolf praised the staff at the magistrate's court.
The magistrate's court staff is still underpaid, still under-resourced, still understaffed, and still underappreciated by those outside of the magistrate's court. Without equal. They are the backbone and the glue of the justice system. And without them, the magistrate's court and the magistrates will not operate as effectively as they do. So my gratitude to them is endless.
The Director of Public Prosecution says his department has had much success in the past 12 months.
In the magistrate's court, there are well over 800 completed criminal matters, of which well more than half resulted in convictions. There were thousands of traffic matters, most of which people pleaded guilty. And in 2018 in the Supreme Court, we filed 42 indictments, and we had many trials with mixed outcomes. In 2018 in the Court of Appeal, there were 14 appeals that were filed, 8 were completed, and not to brag, but in a clean sweep in November, 2 Crown appeals had retrials ordered. And I think that we were successful in all the other ones as well.
Meanwhile, the Bermuda Bar Council provided an update on their objections to the introduction of international law firms, though they are hopeful on a fair outcome.
Their presence has continued to bring some challenging issues for Bar Council. We are now awaiting the final determination following the Walker's case, which was before the Privy Council on the 29th of January 2019, and their pending decision. Bar Council Representative Delroy Duncan and the association's Honorary Secretary Barclay Simmons joined Lord Panic and Paul Lockhurst at the hearing.
The Chief Justice described 2018 as a transitional year. Puny Judge Carlisle Graves will retire in July following a 20-year career in Bermuda. Christopher Clark has replaced Sir Scott Baker as the new Court of Appeal president, while Justice Stephen Hellman retires from the Commercial Court this year. Mr. Archibald Warner has retired as senior magistrate, with former defense lawyer Craig Attridge taking up a post as magistrate. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, detectives are renewing their appeal for witnesses to yesterday's armed robbery at the Warwick Esso Tiger Mart. It happened around 4 p.m. when 2 men wearing dark-colored clothing, one brandishing a knife and one brandishing a firearm, entered the service station, removed a quantity of cash, and made good their escape. Children were present. Thankfully, no one was injured, and witnesses or any members of the public with information regarding the perpetrators of this incident are urged to contact Detective Sergeant Dean Martin at the Serious Crime Unit on 247-1739 or the anonymous Crime Stoppers hotline at 800-8477. Turning to weather news, a gorgeous day today. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters for our weekend weather forecast.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and the weekend is here. And it's not looking too bad as we head into the weekend. We'll have a few chances for showers tomorrow afternoon with a cold front, but besides that, things are looking pretty tranquil here. And as they are right now on this Friday evening, we have high pressure keeping things nice and quiet. The next thing that we'll be dealing with is a cold front that'll be moving off the east coast right into our area. And ahead of that front, the winds will be picking up. And of course, behind the front, we will feel the cooler air, and accompanying the front will be a couple of spotty showers, but we're not expecting anything significant. On the radar this evening, you can see it's relatively quiet right now. Temperatures are sitting in the upper 60s. The winds are pretty light out there, and our humidity is right around 74%. The water temperature currently at 68 degrees. And really not dealing with any rough conditions out there on the water. Waves are running between 1 foot or less inside of the reef, and then outside of the reef between 2 and 4 feet. As we look at some of the tidal times here as we head into your Saturday here, the first high tide coming in, well, it should be Friday night at 11:01. And then we have low tide coming in right around 4:45 on Saturday, with our next high tide then coming in just after 11 a.m. Now, as we head into tomorrow, we do have a small craft warning, at least for Saturday evening through Sunday night. So heads up if by any chance you have plans on heading out toward the water, things could be a little bit choppy again as that front will be moving through the area. A low tonight of 61 degrees under a few patchy clouds out there. And then tomorrow the front will be moving through, temperatures getting into the upper 60s. And then we will allow for just a couple of spotty showers as we head through tomorrow afternoon and evening, but really they're going to be spotty at best here. Here's a look at our futurecast. You can see the front approaching as we head throughout your Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon, and typically a more potent frontal boundary. We'll be able to see the moisture here on futurecast, really just seeing the clouds. And that's an indication that the showers are going to be fairly light on Saturday and into Sunday, clouds and sunshine, as things are looking pretty good for the end of the weekend. So we'll give that a thumbs up. Hopefully you enjoy your Saturday and Sunday. We do have a couple of spotty showers impacting things in Jamaica, Barbados, and also Trinidad, but just spotty showers, no significant rain. Not even seeing any thunderstorms out there. Along the East Coast, New York City, 35 degrees tomorrow, 55 in Atlanta. Over in London, temperatures in the low 50s with clouds and sunshine. Your extended forecast, that cold front will be moving through on Saturday. Behind it, temperatures will be falling into the low 60s for your highs on Sunday afternoon. And then we get a quick rebound here as we head into early next week, mid-60s on Monday as you head back to work. And then we are back into the 70s Tuesday and also Wednesday. Enjoy it.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
My name is Kevin Roberts. I'm a taxi driver / ambassador. My father's with BF&M, so am I. Half of my family always seemed to be with Bermuda Fine Marine. I tried a different provider at one time, but I wasn't too happy with the competition because then it took too long to settle claims. They questioned every claim, and I never really had that problem with BF&M. I'm quite happy with it.
The new Toyota Rush, Bermuda's biggest SUV with 7 seats. There's always plenty of room. Available at Bermuda Motors.
At the Bermuda Festival, classic rock comes to the stage in February. Janis Joplin is remembered as one of the most successful female rock stars of her era. As an interpreter of her music, actress-singer Mary Bridget Davies gives a phenomenal performance in her tribute to the late singer. She garnered a Tony Award nomination for Best Lead Actress in a Musical for her role as Janis Joplin in A Night with Janis Joplin. For tickets, visit PTix or BermudaFestival.org. Celebrating the empowerment of women, She is Art, 44th Annual Bermuda Festival.
And you're watching the Friday edition of Bermuda Tonight. The Executive Director of Age Concern, Dr. Claudette Fleming, says the high cost of health care premiums will not decrease anytime soon. Mike Sharp brings us the latest.
There has been much talk and efforts by the Bermuda Health Council to reduce health care premiums sometime during 2019. But Dr. Fleming said, don't hold your breath.
Can you see things for the elderly, aged, the age? Can you see things getting better for them with health insurance premiums over the next couple of years?
No. No. Because we didn't get into this situation over a very short period of time, and we're not going to get out of it over a very short period of time. But if we do nothing in terms of our own personal responsibility, we're going to be that much more farther in. So at some point, we're going to have to determine how we pay for health care, whether we're going to continue along this road or whether or not there is another step that we can take through taxation. Again,
nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody wants to hear that, which is not an easy thing either. There are no easy answers.
And what feedback has Dr. Fleming been receiving from the elderly?
Health insurance costs are among their biggest concerns, which I find interesting. It matches health itself. People are more concerned about their health insurance costs than they are their actual healthy living, which is amazing to me. And I would encourage seniors to think about how they can be, again, proactive about their own health, because when you are proactive, you're not having to deal with this cost.
Seniors have been ending up in court because they don't have the funds to pay bills due to high health care costs.
Yes. And, again, it's the reality of our times. I won't say the good old days are gone, but it's a new day. And we're going to have to govern ourselves accordingly to the new day and adjust ourselves accordingly.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Mike. Coming up, a report on the Rotary Club presentation on blood donation and the latest in sports after the break. Stay with us.
Price Rate is your one-stop shop with something for everyone. Household goods for kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. Aisles of bulk groceries at value prices. A complete selection of fresh meat and produce, and an extensive range of frozen items to cover every meal. Wines from around the world, and beer and liquor at discount prices. Visit Price Right at our 2 locations in Pembroke and Warren. There's always something new and always something for everyone.
We are the voices.
You are with the captain.
It's Mr. Midday.
12 new major news.
The big station.
The morning show.
The #1 song.
The Faces.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight.
This is exactly what you're talking about.
What an upset it was.
The Storytellers.
They are actually using the pepper spray.
Police are aware of this theory.
The water is 3,500 meters deep.
The tax climbs up to 12.5%.
The window on our community.
We bring you the best in U.S. television entertainment
And the greatest sporting events in the world.
A brilliant performance from Duffy.
We are the island's only Bermudian-owned broadcaster of both television and radio.
With the only TV channels that are available over the air in beautiful high definition, completely free.
We are always expanding.
We are always innovating.
And most important, we're always your station.
This is Bermuda Broadcasting.
The island's chief hematologist was a guest speaker at the Hamilton Rotary Club this week, where he spoke about blood donation in Bermuda. Mike Sharp reports.
Outstanding hematologist who has been practicing for 14 years says numbers are dwindling and they are at their lowest point over the past 6 years. Dr. Fakanli said there are about 1,000 active donors and that it is good to give blood because when you do, you give life.
Blood donation is safe and it's straightforward procedure. And what we need to do, what they do with blood donation is that we collect whole blood, platelet concentrates, fresh frozen plasma, and platelets and packed red cells. There are 4 types of donors in all over the world. We have voluntary donors, paid donors, family replacement donors, and directed donation.
The hematologist said that blood is needed in times of difficulty at hospitals.
Our blood donor center is the only center in Bermuda, and we take care of all patients that need blood transfusion, which can only be administered at King Edward Memorial Hospital. We are located on the 1st floor, the general wing of the King Edward Hospital, and we urge everybody to come around and donate blood.
How frequent should someone donate blood?
Our practice is that we encourage blood donors to come in to donate 3 times in Bermuda. However, international guidelines support donation every 2 months. But we extended it to 3 months because we do not want a high incidence of iron deficiency anemia, which a lot of the donors do have at the moment.
They have found it extremely difficult to have donors between 18 and 24 years old.
About the ages of our donors, 25 to 65 years of age, and about 85% of them that are within that age group. It's been very difficult to find donors between the 18 and 24 years of age. And WHO recommended that 38% of any country blood donor should be within that age group. But in Bermuda, we only have about 4%.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Mike. Well, turning to sports, the primary school cross-country championships took place at the National Sports Center. Sakari Famous competes in Husker Invitational in Nebraska. Earl Basin has all the details and more in tonight's sports report.
Over 600 young people lined up at the National Sports Center yesterday for the Bermuda School Sports Federation's primary school cross country that saw them go through the Arboretum as well. Elise Wade was the first runner to leave the stadium and first to re-enter as she led the under-9 girls race from start to finish. The Northlands primary school runner crossed the line in a time of 10:12. Summersfield Academy's Gabrielle Cicchini was second in a time of 10:21, followed by Antoinette Berry from Work Academy, who clocked 10:29. Tahani Eve was impressive in winning the under-9 boys race in a time of 9:36. The primary 3 Harrington Sound primary student defeated the older field of runners in winning the race. Carter Thomas from Summersfield Academy finished second in a time of 10:01, while Work Academy's Chan Pacheco Hill was third in 10:04. Legend Stevenson from West End Primary won the over-9 girls race over rival Elise Dickinson from Summersfield Academy. The West End Primary School winner won the race in a time of 9:36, with Summerfield Academy's Dickinson stopping the clock in 10:01. Sinya Cumbermack from Purvis Primary rounded out the top 3 with a time of 10:04. Tyler Coleman from Salters Grammar School won the final race of the day after he was clocked at 9:46 in the over-9 boys race. Coleman was followed by Max Kimberly from Work Academy, who clocked 9:57, and Harrington Sound Primary's Schwab Worrell was third in 10:03. Sakari Famous and her University of Georgia track and field teammates recorded a series of wins, season best, and personal best during the Frank Husker Invitational in Nebraska. The freshman finished 4th in the women's high jump with a mark of 1.70 meters or 5 feet 7 inches, which came on her 3rd attempt. Jan Sutton, Jonna James, and their Thomas College men's and women's track and field teammates competed at the Panther Invitational at the Plymouth State University. James would finish 14th competing in the women's 400-meter dash, stopping the clock in a time of 1:11:56. James would run the 3rd leg of the Thomas College women's 4x200-meter relay team that finished 10th in a time of 2:17:51. Sutton would run the 3rd leg in the Thomas College men's 4x200-meter relay team that would finish 6th with a time of 1:47:32. Sutton would finish 4th in the men's high jump with a top leap of 1.70 meters or 5 feet 7 inches. Sutton would also finish 7th competing in the men's long jump with a leap of 5.88 meters or 19 feet 3.50 inches. The Charleston Battery have signed 23-year-old winger Zico Lewis for the upcoming 2019 season pending league and federation approval. 2 goals from Kyron Lofthouse and a strike from newly signed Jonte Smith earned Oxford United's under-23 side a 3-2 win over Crawley Town in a training ground match yesterday. James Finnegan and his Florida Tech men's tennis teammates picked up a close 5-4 win over Ave Marie in its first action of the spring. Finnegan and Alexander Webb combined for the first win of the match as they took down AMU's second pair 8-2. Finnegan would win his singles match at the number 2 spot 6-4, 6-3 against Nicholas Hoffmeister. Kieran Burgess would lead his Madison Hat College men's basketball teammates to victory in their Alberta College's Athletic Conference men's basketball match against Briarcrest College 87-64. Burgess would score a game-high 25 points after going 12 for 19 from the field. He would also go 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Burgess would grab 14 rebounds. He would have 1 assist, 1 steal in his 30 minutes of action on the floor. this week, Bermuda netballer Nabila Nazir is with the WAPS netball team in the UK via the Bermuda Government National Junior Athletic Scholarship Program. Nazir has had an intensive week of netball training lined up. This past weekend, before Nazir departed, she would score 14 goals for the Storm Thunder in their Bermuda Netball Association Senior League match against the Lindos Tigers. She was recently named the Bermuda School Sports Federation Senior School All-Star MVP after scoring a game-high 17 goals. Nazir is also the Senior League's second leading goal scorer thus far this season. In Summersby Men's Classic Bowling League action at the Work Lanes, saw Ferns Plus go down 21-9 to Team Electric. Team M-Style defeated the By Team 26.5 to 3.5, while Team Metro defeated the Tele Bermuda High Speeders 25.5 to 4.5. The new mix-ups defeated Team Unsponsored 19-11, and Gosling's Baxio defeated Team Relive 20.5 to 9.5.
I'm Earl Basden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sport.
Thank you, Earl. Well, that's our newscast on this Friday evening. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Good night.